Invasive Species Invade Boston Harbor, and What Can We Do to Fight Them? By Richard Tenori and Brad Watts. There are 5 things we'll be talking about today: the harbor islands and their purpose, what the invasive species are, the invasive's rapid adaptations, the future, and preventive measures. Introduction. In this video, we will be covering the purposes of the Boston Harbor Islands and how, due to invasive species such as the green and Asian short crab, the jeopardy of the islands are facing due to the destruction of eelgrass beds. We will also explore how the destruction of eelgrass beds negatively affects the local shellfish populations.
Part 1. The Harbor Islands and their purpose. As you can see in this picture, we will be discussing the Boston Harbor Islands. To name a few, there are Pettix, Spectacle, Georges, Grape, and Lovels. They have their own distinct characteristics, and they all do the same thing. This will be discussed further in the video.
History. Over the years, various islands have had many uses. They range from trash heap, horse disposal, glue factories, military forts, prisons. However, arguably the most important use for these islands has been the natural storm barrier that it provides to the Boston Harbor. Due to the rising sea levels, coupled with invasive species, the islands are at risk.
Part 2. Intro to Invasives. On the left, there's the Asian short crab. On the right, there's the European green crab. These are both invasive species. The Asian short crab, scientific name, Hemigraspis sanguineus, origin, Asia, lifespan, 3 to 5 years, diet, juvenile snails, mollusks, barnacles, etc. Effects on the environment. These crabs are extremely opportunistic feeders. Their constant breeding and resilient bodies allow them to live for many years. They destroy eelgrass beds, which in turn weakens soil and deprives shellfish of nurseries. European green crab. Scientific name, Carnissus menis. Origin, Europe and Asia. Lifespan, 3 to 5 years. Diet, various small mollusks, snails, worms, etc. Effects on the environment. They destroy eelgrass beds, prey on juvenile shellfish, outcompete various other species of crabs for food and shelter. The damage being done. Due to the green and short crab's ability to reproduce so rapidly, the problem of being fed arises. The crabs invade coastal areas, destroying eelgrass beds. These beds of seagrass have deep roots which prevent coastal erosion and provide nurseries for many mollusks such as scallops. The repercussions of the damage will be discussed later in the video.
Part 3. Invasives Rapid Adaptations. In this picture, it shows green crabs. Green and shore crab genetics. While most native species of crab and various other benthic creatures have had trouble adapting to the rapidly changing climate, green and shore crabs are thriving in these warming environments. It was discovered that the green crab's cardiac functions better allowed to survive in warmer water by changing its heart BPM. Part 4. The future. In this picture, it shows the Boston Harbor Islands.
Islands underwater. If the destruction of eelgrass due to green and shore crabs continues, we can expect to see the effects of rising sea levels become much more prevalent due to quicker erosion. Various other communities are facing the same issue caused by lack of eelgrass beds. The erosion has caused the shoreline to rapidly decay into the ocean.
Loss of fisheries. The shellfish industry can also expect to see a decline in revenue due to a increasing number of shellfish nurseries. This in turn causes many fishermen to lose their jobs. This can then lead toward a downward slope in the economy, which can have a great impact of lower income communities that rely on the fishing industry. Various communities, especially coastal ones, have been rallying together to identify a strategy to combat these invasive species.
Part 5. Preventive Measures and Conclusion. As you can see in the images on the left, this crab has been baked. On the right, there's a crab bisque. Green crabs have many more uses than people thought previously.
Can't beat them? Eat them. With the green crab problem on the front of most conservationist minds, many ingenious ways to deal with the problematic pests have been thought of. Most popularly, many restaurants have begun to create various dishes and soups using green crabs. Well, green crabs generally do not contain a lot of meat. Their shell can be boiled down to a tangy soup, ready for any adventurous restaurant goer.
Eelgrass restoration. When it comes to eelgrass, the future looks much more hopeful. Many organizations and schools, such as Boston University, have taken on the task of locating thick and thriving eelgrass beds and transplanting multiple patches in areas of thinner sediment to help ease the process of erosion. Dr. Alyssa Novak of BU has been a big influence on communities by spreading the word of invasives and what kind of damage they bring to the communities. My understanding of invasive species and eelgrass are all thanks to her. She's allowed me to assist in many transplanting operations, and for that I'm grateful. Conclusion. In conclusion, while this may not be a permanent or practical solution, it still raises awareness to the problem and gives the communities a voice to fight the invaders and protect their home. Thanks to people such as Alyssa Novak and so many other communities taking action, the threat of falling into the harbor becomes less and less of a concern for the Boston Harbor Islands. If the research and dedication to this cause continues, then the future looks bright. Thank you for watching. We hope you've enjoyed.